Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott, and once again I thought I would go through my EDC. I do shoot this on occasion every couple of months or so to allow you to see how my EDC has changed or has not changed. And that's where you want to get to be, is you want to get to the point where your EDC doesn't change much, because that means you've hit EDC nirvana. And my philosophy on EDC are things I use every day, not things I may use once in a while, but typically things that I use every day, that I'm pulling out of my pocket, that I'm doing something with. Because what happens when a lot of people, when you really start getting into these big EDC things, you tend to leave them. You either leave them in your car, or you leave them at home, you leave them in your bug out bag, you leave them on your dresser, because it becomes a hassle. And so you want to get your EDC to a point where it's stuff that you use every day, and maybe a few things that you may not use every day, but you don't want to carry a lot. And so this is my EDC as of now. Of course, we have our clothes. I normally wear a hat whenever I leave the house or leave the property, and then clothes appropriate for the season. I do keep stuff in my truck, some additional clothes or things to help me stay warm or whatever. But for today, I'm really just talking about stuff that I carry almost every time I leave the house, or specifically whenever I leave my property. So that being said, moving along, this is something I always carry with me. This is a dog tag. It's got some of my important information on it. It's got some phone numbers on it for my wife and my kids, and so it'll help people if I'm in a car accident, or I have a senior moment and they catch me, walking around somewhere, that they can get me back home. So I have that. And then this is a little Olight. It's a I1R2 EOS. And what this is, it's a tiny flashlight. It's got two settings, low and then rather bright. And it lasts a pretty good amount of time. I use it when I work. Sometimes I'm in a dark place and I have to see, and I use this. Plenty of light. What I like about it is that it is rechargeable by USB. So in other words, anything I use to recharge my phone, as long as I have the right USB connector, sounds like my wrens are out, I can recharge this. So I like that. So that goes there. I carry a cell phone. Obvious reasons. I carry a wallet. Wallet has cash. Hopefully enough to get me somewhere. I carry a lighter. Big Flick. This is one of the little ones. I got this one in 2013. Still works. I don't smoke, so I don't use it a lot. I carry a pen. This is one of those Fisher Space pens. One you just write anywhere. And I carry a set of car keys. Alright. And then I carry a notebook. Something I learned in the Army. One of the things I learned in the Army was, a wise sergeant told me that if you want to survive in the Army, you just need to make sure you're in the proper place at the proper time and in the proper uniform. And when you become an NCO, then you have a pen and paper. So I typically always have something to write with and something to write on. In today's world with the cell phone, sometimes it's easier to take a picture, but I still write in this. I still carry it with me. And then the other thing I carry with me is my Glock. This is a Glock 19. And I wanted to talk about upgrades. And I have done a few with this. And I like to talk about them, give you some ideas. I'll even give you a list of what I put in here and why. I don't go overly crazy with upgrading. I think that the Glocks really stand well on their own. But I have made a couple of adjustments. Inside, I put a Ghost Cat 4.5 trigger connector. And all that did is it helped reduce some of the take up of the trigger, helped to reset a little bit, and it reduced the weight just a little bit. That 4.5 means 4.5 pounds instead of 5.5 pounds. For a carry weapon, I wouldn't put those 3.5 pound triggers in there. You're just asking for all sorts of trouble. The other thing I put in here, or another thing I put in here, was a spring kit. And what that is I just replaced the springs. That these springs are probably pretty close to stock. They're just a little bit better built. And then the firing pin spring, I use a 6-pound spring. And in the Ghost kit, you can get, it comes with a 6-pound and a 4-pound. But the 4-pound is not as reliable as the 6-pound. It's okay for competition, but not for carry. So I've done that. I added a extended slide release. Again, this is what they call the Ghost Bullet. This one is the forward mounted because I tried the standard one, and when I was shooting, because I have a high grip, I was locking back my slide and it drove me crazy for a while. But then I moved to this forward where they moved the bullet just a little bit forward, and I don't have that problem anymore. What's nice about this is I can operate this slide release with both hands. Because it sticks out, shooting left hand, I can pop this around just like I can pop the magazine. So I can operate this gun left-handed, and if I have to rack the slide, this came with night sights. These sights, I can rack the slide with these. The other thing I did is I added a butt plug. It's like $7, not a necessary thing. And then I am going to change the trigger on this. This has got one of those groove triggers and I don't like it. So what I'm replacing it with is another Glock trigger, but it's smooth. So that's still pretty stock. I did do what's called a 25-cent trigger job. There's a guy that shows a video on how to do that, and it really does improve the Glock. This thing really has a pretty sweet trigger, and it takes about half hour, 45 minutes of your time to polish certain parts of the trigger system, and it definitely improves the gun. I mean, the Glock itself is not bad as it is, but if you smooth things up, polish them up a little bit, all is well. And I'll post links to all this stuff below. And so let me check my notes here, make sure I covered everything. Yep, that's it. Not a whole lot done to the pistol. Like I said, just a couple little things, nothing really drastic, but it improved the trigger a little bit, it improved the reliability a little bit, and I really don't feel like I need to do any more. You know, when you talk about, we talk about guns and pistols and this and that, and I have pistols like everybody else does, but when I talk about if I'm leaving my house, you know, which one am I going to take with me if I can't take them all? It's going to be this Glock. And it's kind of funny. I never intended my Glock to become a project gun, but it kind of has. I mean, right now I have less than $80 invested in stuff I've added to that pistol. I think the most expensive thing was the trigger connector, and that was like 25 bucks. Everything else was less than 20. The butt plug for it was like $7, so it's not a lot. And then of course a little bit of time and effort to polish up the trigger stuff. So, you know, modifying your guns is a personal thing, number one, but you know, consider what you're doing and consider your skill level. I've taken apart guns all my life, and so I kind of know what I'm doing, and I know how to put them back together again. But if you're not mechanically adept, maybe find somebody to do it for you. Glocks are pretty easy to maintain, and that's another reason why I like them. I can fix a Glock. So, but that's it. Just going through my EDC again and showing everybody that it really doesn't change much. And what that means is that I really kind of found that sweet medium between carrying too much stuff and then not carrying enough. The stuff that I carry, oh, I forgot one thing. Ooh, look at that. A knife. In this case, this is a Benchmark bug out. I have carried a lot of different knives. I still have a bunch of different knives. This is my weakness, but when I leave the house, this is more than likely is what's going to be in my pocket. So it's a good knife. I like it because it's light. I don't like, you know, heavy things all the time. You feel weighed down, but this has got a good steel. This one is S30V, which I like. I'm not a big metal person, but it's just been a good knife. So that's all I got for everybody. Everybody stay safe, stay secure, and we'll see you.